Before I start this video, I just want to give a big trigger warning. If you're asking which ones, it's a lot of them. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably going to make what I'm about to say very ironic. Anyways, welcome back to the light side of the internet. I love making content online and making a living off of it, but that doesn't mean that there are some things about it that aren't so fun. Doing things like checking my analytics, trying to be self-motivated, and making a video on a topic that everyone and their mother has already talked about because algorithm. Lord Jesus, please help me get through this recording, please. But as hard as it is to find success online, I can safely say that I have never, ever exploited my children to get more social media points. Partly because I don't have any children, unless you count Taco, in which case I absolutely will exploit my kids for social media points. So it's shocking to me that, are we past the 1 minute mark yet? Okay, cool, I can swear now. Kids are still being fucking exploited for social media points. And this concerning trend of involving and exploiting children in social media is nothing new. Like, family channels have been doing this for years. Influencers have definitely had children for the sake of content. And Ryan's World is still milking their cash cow, kid. But while in most cases, the children in these channels have more or less a semblance of consent, this one creator I'm talking about literally uses her children as unwilling shields to protect her ego and reputation online. I'm specifically talking about a creator whose last name rhymes with Trevino. Having no fun is what her kids are doing. Look, by now you've probably seen dozens of videos describing how Ash Trevino is a less than salubrious human being.
Do you want lip filler?
No, my lips are actually big.
They're not that big, baby.
Okay, but they're big enough for me.
They're not that big.
But if you do happen to touch grass and don't know who she is, good for you. Keep it that way. I'm sorry for what I'm about to do. Ashley Trevino is a TikTok live streamer and 36-year-old continuous human train wreck who gained infamy with her various antics like actively posting footage of her binge drinking, being racist,
Mohammed, right? How do you know that he wasn't the one behind the Twin Towers?
and generally just being a very unpleasant human being.
He doesn't want to do that with me until we're married. As soon as I meet you, I want to do something. And he said, I have to wait until we're married.
Yeah, so contextually, she's complaining about dating a 23-year-old and not doing the, Ugh. Actually, it's pretty up in the air how old he actually is. At best, he's 23 years old. At worst, he's 2 kids in a trench coat. And she's 36. Girl, that boy is like a child to you. Speaking of children, now while traditional influencers use their kids as attention sponges for their audiences like you see in family vlogs, Ash Trevino somehow stoops below this and uses her children as human shields to protect her image.
Because y'all don't like me, y'all think y'all know what I am, and I'm not. Y'all call me a bad mom. My kids are teenagers. They don't need me. Oh, you want me to cook?
Mm-hmm. You want Ash Trevino? Oh, really?
Ash Trevino actively lowering the bar for family influencers is kind of like seeing someone buy a Tesla in 2025 and going, I'll do you one better, and buy a Panzerkampfwagen 6 Tiger Ausführung E. Because I'm a not. TikTok live e-beggar Ash Trevino recently had an interview with Camila Arujo, who happens to be a member of the Playboy Mansion-esque co-op known as the Bop House. I swear we're just making up words at this point.
How are you dealing with all of this controversy? Like, what goes through your head when people are like, oh, she's a bad mother? Like,
so I try to tell everybody, but of course, I'm always going to be the villain in their book. I've raised my kids since they were born. Never left their side. Till this day, still have not left their side.
Okay, so she's the one raising her kids from birth and is the one always by their side. So she's a good mom because she does the bare fucking minimum. Okay, that's palatable. What's up with this clip then?
Y'all can clip whatever y'all want. I'm not with my kids. My kids aren't with me. And I'm gonna be here for a month. I'm doing me for a month. Go ahead and clip that because I said that. Yes, for a month, I will be where I'm at.
You guys can be haters and say, I don't take care of my kids. You know what? You can clip that. I don't care what you say. I know that my kids are by my side no matter what. Would you like any bevies, ma'am? Yeah, can I get like 10 pina coladas? And if you don't want to follow Ash's example and want to actually keep yourself safe online, then you should check out today's sponsor, Aura. As we've already seen from today's video, the internet is not the safest place, especially nowadays. Just recently in 2024, the national public data was breached, which exposed millions of names, addresses, and social security numbers, which were all released for free online. And surprisingly, nothing happened. None of that information was used for nefarious reasons. That was obviously a joke. But what isn't a joke is how Aura can protect you from those nefarious reasons. Aura keeps you safe by doing the hard work of protecting your online information. That means it protects your credit, your bank account information, your email, your soul for maternal damnation. I mean, I'm kidding about the last one, but if your information gets leaked online, what's really the difference? Not only will Aura continually monitor the dark web for me, but it'll send me alerts when it does detect my information is being sold online. Plus, if anything does happen, Aura does protect its users with up to $5 million of identity theft insurance in case of the worst case scenario. Except if a meteor crashes into us. I'm not sure if Aura can help with that. Unless. Whether you're looking to see if your information has been leaked online or you just want to be proactive about keeping your identity safe, you can visit aura.com/raylikes sunshine to try Aura for 14 days free. That'll be enough time for Aura to see whether your information has been leaked or not. Thank you to Aura for sponsoring today, and let's get back to the video. The funny part is, I didn't even need to provide that clip because right after Ash says this, Camila retorts back expeditiously.
People would say that they're with their grandparents majority of the time.
Well, the little one does live with me, but recently she went back for a bit.
First of all, if you're their mom, you should probably refer to them by name. Like, do you not know your kids' names? Like the ones you raised from when they were born? Yeah, I'm asking you. The old one. Second of all, do they live with you or do they not live with you? Because the only way the sentence, she went back for a bit, would grammatically make sense is if she doesn't normally live with you. And I know, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a grammar Nazi. But maybe instead of trying to justify why your kids prefer to spend time with their grandparents instead of you.
Whenever you're kind of raised by your mom and your grandparents, you kind of fall into like a grandparent's baby.
You could try asking yourself why your kids prefer to spend their time with their grandparents instead of you. And trust me, I can think of a lot more reasons than them just being their grandparents' babies.
I had a 9 to 5. I worked.
Your boss saw your nipple.
Literally.
How did that even happen?
What?
The slip.
I was drunk on Live with Santos.
Yes. Like a lot more reasons. Watching this interview was like an out-of-body experience. And by out-of-body experience, I mean I could actively feel my brain packing its bags and leaving my body. The lack of self-awareness by Ash makes me think that she doesn't even know that she's a bad mom. I think that Ash legitimately thinks that barely tolerating her children makes her a good mom. And I do mean barely tolerating.
I have an A+ in every class.
No, you don't.
I'm an avid.
No, you don't. No, you're not.
You're lying. Be quiet.
Bro, you're not.
I'm trying to make sure I'm an A.
You're probably barely gonna pass. Literally.
And in her mind, doing the bare minimum absolves her of all the hate she's getting online. Actually, I don't think that. I know that because she even said so in one of her lives.
I've literally raised them since they were born. But to actually live alone with just me and them, I'm learning, you know? And I think I'm doing a pretty dang good job.
But maybe I'm being too harsh. Because who really knows if she's really a good mom or not? Really? Who knows? I don't know. I think it's time for a green and red flag list. Okay, so Ashley's green flags as a mother are on this side, while her red flags as a mother are on this side. On this side, we have her giving birth to them. The literal bare fucking minimum. And buying one of her daughters a Gucci bag. I feel like that's a beige flag more than anything. Is that all? Why are there so many flags left? Okay, moving forward to this side. Ashley actively talks about doing nose beers to her followers.
I swear Callie messed up my nose.
I've been like having to blow my nose so much. Hold on, guys.
Ashley told someone that her mom deserved to be dead in front of her daughter.
My mama's still alive, cause your mama dead.
Ashley gave up parenting to go party because in her words, she didn't get to start partying until 31 years old.
I started my partying life late, and I started my partying life literally 5 years ago. I was blessed to have parents that literally were like, go, the girls are safe.
That's basically saying, I didn't get to drink until I was 31. So it's only fair that I prioritize me and partying and buying Louis Vuitton bags before I'm actually ready to settle down and actually raise my children. Look, they'll always be there. This definitely won't have any long-lasting effects on their psychology. Oh, you thought because there was a skit that I'd be done with a list. Ashley pulled her kids out of school because of drama that her online activity caused.
Where I am live.
So you don't feel like any sort of guilt or sadness that they've lost friends because of it, and they've expressed that?
No, because it's not even for that reason, to be honest. I feel like some of their friends are jealous because of the life that they have.
Yes, let's permanently inhibit my kids' education and growth because of my online bag. Ashley doesn't even have beds for her kids at our house.
Do you have beds?
Well, I don't live with my mom.
But at your mom's house?
No.
Even though she has a Gucci account, she has a Louis Vuitton account, she has a Coach account.
I got a YSL account,
Okay, period.
Gucci,
And
Louis. Yeah.
Stop playing with her.
And last but not least, but like also not last because there's just so much stuff that I don't want to talk about, Ashley is just kind of mean to her kids all the time.
Oh yeah, my nose is so perfect.
No, your nose is not perfect.
Your nose ain't either.
Bye.
So it's this gap between how she talks about her kids online and how she actually treats her kids online that leads me to believe that this pedestaling of her daughters is only meant to soothe her ego, and her being a good mom is purely performative in nature. And while there are certainly worse influencer parents out there, I don't think that we need to see a kid locked up in a dungeon before we can call out bad social media parenting. But we will get to that later. In fact, Ash not overtly exploiting her kids online for internet fame is probably the only saving grace that she has. I stand corrected.
I mean, I don't really like to talk about them, honestly. When it comes to my lives now, I tell them if y'all have anything to say about the kids, I'm not answering it.
You said send the galaxy to know about my baby girl's health when I was in the hospital.
That's
Yeah, but no, but I still didn't like that.
You sold out your daughter's health and privacy for a TikTok galaxy. You basically committed a HIPAA violation on your own daughter for a TikTok galaxy. You told the entire internet about your daughter's health problems for a TikTok galaxy. When I first heard about this, I didn't know how much a TikTok galaxy actually was. I thought it had to be like at least $100. It's $5. $5. You exploited your child's health for If I look disheveled in this video, it's because I was. This galaxy gifting allegedly happened on stream, so I don't really have any footage for it, and all I really have to go off of is her daughter's word. But considering everything Ash Trevino has done, do we really think it's out of the realm of possibilities? But while Ashley's actions are clearly the source of our morbid fascination, akin to how we would view a 20-car pileup or a plane crash, we also have to face the fact that maybe Ash's exploitation of her kids are a symptom of the systemic issues we have within social media itself. There is no doubt that as a teen mom, Ash had to sacrifice a lot to raise her kids, but that doesn't mean her social media career has to advance at the expense of her kids. Unfortunately, social media incentivizes this type of behavior. And while there is no publicly available data to support this, I don't think it's a stretch to say that Ashley gets more live viewers, more engagement, and most of all, more attention when she actively mistreats her kids online. Because as someone who gets jealous of their kids for having more followers than her, more numbers and more engagement is the only incentive she needs to continue the behavior that makes her such a controversial figure in the first place. And the entire situation is exacerbated by creators like this who talk about the controversy and get more eyes and attention on the figure. Wait, so yes, at the end of the day, while it doesn't excuse any of the actions that Ash has done in order to pursue social media fame, she is sadly just a symptom of the systemic issues we see within the social media landscape. Plus, if we want to talk about other opportunities, the job market is f***ing ass right now. Shout out to my still fun employed people. And yes, Camila, despite her good intentions, is part of the problem because she brought tens of millions of eyes onto Ash's daughters who didn't even want social media fame in the first place.
In the beginning of school, people noticed my mom, and I got like in the cafeteria a lot of stares. And so if I could, I honestly would go back to my old life, to being a nobody to people, because that's when I was more confident, didn't care how I look. And now since I'm publicly, I've cared more about how I look, how I go out.
Well, I think you are beautiful, and I'm sorry that the internet has literally tore you down, because that's not how it should be. That's not what anyone deserves.
Commentary creators are part of the problem because we love to dogpile on controversial figures because cash money.
Ash Trevino.
Ash Trevino was
Ash Trevino. Ash Trevino. Ash Trevino.
And as a result, we give more of our time and attention. And I'm part of the problem because I like bad bitches. And that's a fucking problem. I'm probably gonna get canceled for that. And Ash Trevino is hardly the worst example of this. When the wrong people start getting social media attention, it can have disastrous consequences. Now incarcerated ex-family vlogger Ruby Franke was an influencer who had 8 kids and 2.5 million followers before she was convicted of felony child abuse in early 2024. Now, I'm not gonna go into any of the details of what Ruby Franke did to her kids because A, it's already been well documented on the Hulu series and by other YouTubers. And B, I think given everything that's going on in the world, I'm gonna be kind to myself and not eviscerate my mental health. But it was really bad. Like really bad. And it is not uncommon for the actions of influencers to be influenced by their view counts, especially when hundreds of thousands of dollars are on the line. At its peak, Ruby Franke's channel was making upwards of $100,000 a month. I'm just saying, there's not a lot that I wouldn't do for that type of money. I wouldn't do what she did, but it's a lot of money. In 2021, when her views started declining because of the allegations that came to light, Ruby actually started to double down. Now, whether or not the escalation of the crimes against her family had something to do with her declining view counts is up for debate. But as the documentary covers, she was putting extreme and sometimes violent pressure on her kids to perform in the vlogs. And pressure from a floundering channel could not have improved their conditions. And the scary thing is, Ruby was universally liked before all the allegations came out, which means she was really good at hiding all of this. Now, what I do think what Ash is doing to her daughters right now is completely unacceptable and borders on neglect. I am truly afraid of what goes down when Ash isn't on camera. And I'm really afraid of what might happen when the hype train dies down and her views start precipitously dropping. Wow. That got really dark really quick. Moving on. So this trend of putting children in front of cameras for profit is not going to stop. So what can we do about it? Off the top of my head, I can think of a number of ways we can improve the conditions for child influencers. Video platforms can instate demonetization standards if children are featured in X% of a video. We can collectively stop watching and engaging with content that prominently features and may exploit minors. In fact, a number of states, including Illinois, California, and Michigan, have already passed legislation that requires channels such as family vloggers to set aside up to 65% of a child's gross earnings into trust accounts, only accessible by them when they reach adulthood. This new wave of legislation paves a way for a child's rights within social media, paralleling similar legislation enacted in 1939 designed to protect the child actors in Hollywood. The families are moving to other states. What? Yeah, the families just moved to other states and not have to do that. Well, shit. But I guess I'm going to do something that I've never done before and open up the discussion to you guys. Do you think there's a place for family vloggers and other similar influencers on online platforms? Are there any good examples of channels that have kids but don't exploit them? Let me know. Anyways, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all excited for spring and to be able to touch grass again, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.